David was voted the vice chair of the Democrat National Committee. And this seemed rather odd because he's basically just a kid who has he's just never accomplished anything. Like, do you want someone who's at 19 years old is a lifelong politician? I don't know, probably not. But this from the New York Post. DNC panel votes to void David Hogg's election as Democratic vice chair. And this story is delicious, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to this. David Hogg put out a statement. Today, the DNC took its first steps to remove me from my position as vice chair at large. While this vote was based on how the DNC conducted its officers' elections, which I had nothing to do with, it is also impossible to ignore the broader context of my work to reform the party, which loomed large over this vote. I ran to be DNC vice chair to help make the Democratic Party better, not to defend an indefensible status quo that has caused voters in almost every demographic group to move away from us. The DNC has pledged to remove me, and this vote has provided an avenue to fast-tracking that effort. That's where the Democrats are at. Whether it's, and what he's referencing there is, you may remember a clip we showed you about 2 weeks ago, James Carville, who's just like an old Democrat Party hack, basically was going off on David Hogg because Hogg wanted to primary some of the Democrats. And basically a guy like Carville, who's been in the machine forever, was like, hey, we have a system, it works, even though Carville's constantly criticizing the system, you're not gonna go after our guys. Anyway, he went on Bill Maher and he got the coveted one-on-one interview. And he talked about how to bring young voters in and his little fight with James Carville.
What's interesting about this moment is it feels like the two parties in some senses have flipped, where Republicans used to be the judgmental assholes in many ways. And since many Democrats, despite us, I would say for most of us coming from the right place of wanting to do the right thing, we've created a culture where we say, well, if you say the wrong thing, you're excommunicated. And that's just not how human beings work. Nobody is perfect, but ultimately what we have to do here is figure out how to bring people back in and work towards the bigger goal of advancing the future of this country and helping young people especially get by so that they're able to focus on their lives and, you know, getting with a young woman or something like that instead of how are they going to pay their rent, for example, or how are they working their two jobs. Young people should be able to focus on what young people should be focused on, which is how to get laid and how to go and have fun.
Why is the establishment mad at you? This sounds like basic Democratic stuff. I mean, James Carville called you a contemptible little twerp.
Well, then he flipped as well. And he came around and he said, actually, the DNC should not remove David.
And you're not a twerp.
Exactly. Well, it's because, thank you. It's because